Welcome to the Women Writing Podcast. I'm your book coach, Lisa Kovala. I'm an author accelerator, certified fiction and memoir book coach, and the author of Like Water for Weary Souls, Sisters Winter War, Surviving Struthoff, and the upcoming Hygge House Cozy Mystery Series. As a Finnish Canadian, I also love my coffee. Take a coffee break with us as we chat about all things writerly with authors and publishing industry professionals. And don't forget to sign up for my Women Writing newsletter on Substack and subscribe to my YouTube channel for more great content. Tara Hodgson has called herself a teacher of teenagers for 17 years and is now thrilled to call herself a published author as well. She has written and published the YA contemporary novels Chasing Through Time and At Least I'm Trying. When she isn't teaching or writing, she is reading. She loves all genres of books, but especially YA contemporary, fantasy, and dystopian. She spends her downtime walking, camping, boating, and at home with her family and animals in rural Alberta, Canada. Hi, Tara. How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm so good. Thanks for joining us here on Women Writing for a coffee break. It's the evening, so I'm not drinking coffee anymore. Are you a coffee drinker, tea drinker?
I am a coffee drinker, but only in the morning.
Yeah.
I can't go afternoon.
No, it's deadly.
I love
right?
it though, but
I know, me too. I can probably get away with a 3:00 coffee, and then after that, it gets really dicey about how well I'm going to sleep. So
yes, it's not worth the risk for me. I love to sleep. I need my sleep.
100%. Me too. So we have something really in common, which is that you're a teacher and I was a teacher, and you teach middle grade. So that's essentially grade 7 and 8, I would say.
I teach actually grade 9. So our high school doesn't start till grade 10. Yeah.
Okay. That's really interesting. Yeah. Because in Ontario, middle school is kind of 7, 8, I guess. And then 9 to 12 is high school. But I taught a lot of grade 9s as well. What do you teach? Everything?
Language arts.
Language arts?
Yes.
So fun. And they're so eager at that age, right? They're
so so enthusiastic. They love reading and writing.
Yeah.
Not sarcastic at all.
No, not at all. It's part of the charm.
Yes, they make it more of a challenge, so it keeps me on my toes.
Exactly. So I always ask people this question because I'm so curious about whether or not you were a writer right from the get-go, or was that something that came to you a little bit later in life?
I guess I've always been a writer just because it's always been a way I could express myself, where especially when I was younger, verbal communication, it was so hard for me to like express my feelings. So I would just write everything down. And I used to have little notebooks that I write little chapter books about me and my friends. So I guess I always have been, but I didn't actually pursue it seriously until like 2022. So I waited a long time.
That is like a really common story that's in us when we're really young. We just need to express ourselves. I would think I was the same. Like I was really shy.
Me too.
Well, that's what they labeled me, as shy. I'm not sure that I was shy, but I was introverted, and same thing, had a difficult time expressing myself verbally. So I was often writing poetry or stories or drawing or kind of that interior world that we create, I guess. But it's interesting that over time it's like, okay, no, I need to write stories. I actually need to sit down and do the work because it's so fun.
It was almost like I couldn't even like not do it.
Yeah.
It wasn't an option. Once I had this story hit me, I'm like, no, I have to do it.
Do you remember that time when the story came to you and you were like, okay, this is it? Did it come in a wave? Like my friend Holly says, did it download, or did it kind of like trickle in and you were kind of thinking about it?
My first book was a download. Like I was going for a walk. It was the middle of winter. I vividly remember, like I live in the middle of nowhere. So just like white everywhere. And it just like, it fell into my mind, and I had it all mapped out, and I started writing as soon as I got home.
I love that so much. What was the name of the first one? Because you have 2.
So my first book was Chasing Through Time.
Right. Chasing Through Time. Amazing. And did you have any sense of before that, like, were you thinking about ideas for a story? Was there like, were you kind of playing around with, sometime I'm going to write a book, or was it just like, how did that happen?
I guess I never had that conscious thought until that moment.
Wow.
But like I always have stories in my head. I think that's an introverted quality. Like I'm always in there thinking about things. And so I've always had stories, but
Yeah.
I never had this urge to write it down as the way I did for that story.
Amazing. And what
Mm-hmm.
did you do then? Like, so you have this story idea, it's come to you and you're like, oh, I have to do this. What was your process like then? Because you've been a teacher, you've been writing with kids, and you've been, it's like you clearly have all those skills, but how did you go from the story idea to, actually drafting it?
Yeah, well, I was very nervous to tell anybody, so I didn't for like a long time, other
Amazing.
than my husband, because he's like, "What are you doing sitting on your computer all the time?" So I told him and nobody else, and I just like, I don't know, I'll just see where it goes. And I think it took me like 6 months start to finish to like write the whole draft. And I have little kids too, so I'd sneak in all this time here and there. And I'm like, I really like this story. Maybe I should see where it's going. But one of my good friends is actually an editor. So it was kind of easy for me to move to that step because I'm like, oh, I'm just going to tell her, like, do you want to look this over? And we worked together for a little bit. And then I was like playing around with agents and like doing that whole thing. But I'm very impatient. And I
Yes.
felt like my stories are very timely. So I was scared that I would like
Yeah.
miss my window of opportunity. So I just like, I'm just going to publish it and see what happened. And then I had to tell people, which was the
Exactly.
scary part. Like, oh no, that
Yeah,
was
it actually
scary.
is that when you told them like when it was going to get published? Did you wait that long? Or did
Yeah,
that
there are some people who didn't even know until the day it came out.
amazing?
Yeah, like I told
Surprise.
my close people, they knew it was coming, but then yeah, I was just like, oh, okay, I guess I should post about this.
And by the way, I
And
wrote a book.
yeah, and it's for sale right now.
Oh, that's so good. What about your students? Did you tell them after or before or what? When did they find out?
Yeah, I didn't tell, well, I told one in particular before because she actually was my beta reader and
Oh,
she
good.
helped me just kind of sort through my Gen Z character as an elder millennial.
Yeah.
I needed a little help. So she knew for a long time and she actually took my whole manuscript over the summer and like ripped it to pieces, but in the
Excellent.
best way.
Yes.
Like it was so good. So she knew, but I didn't tell anybody else until it
And
came
she
out.
kept the secret too.
She did. Yeah,
That's awesome.
she's a gem. Yeah.
Amazing.
Hmm.
Shout out to your student.
Yeah.
That's amazing. I love that. I love a couple things you've said here about like that you had a friend who was an editor and so like you leaned on them for that part. Like I think that's
Hmm.
really important that we go outside of ourselves to find, those people that can support us. And then like to have a beta reader that is somebody who can identify with your characters and can really say, yeah, no, your
Oh
character.
yeah, she was. Oh my gosh, she was amazing. She did this for my second book too. I'll probably go to her for every YA book I can until she's not in that target
Right,
audience anymore. But
right.
she like, no, nobody would wear that.
So
They would never say this. I'm like, okay, good. I'm
yeah,
glad.
yeah. Tell
And
me, yeah.
actually, yeah, I had a review that from a young person saying, "Oh my gosh, like Hodgson was able to say all the Gen Z slang without sounding like forced, and she
Yeah.
sounded really authentic." I'm like, "That was all that student. I would
That's
not have been
great.
able to do that." Yeah.
So good. So good. I love
Hmm.
that so much. And so like your books, you are hitting on contemporary topics, things that kids are dealing with. It's like their YA novels. So can you tell us about that book in particular, and then we can talk about the other one as well? What areas or issues are you dealing with in that story?
Yeah, so I don't shy away. Um, I'm definitely trying to start some serious conversations. So with Chasing Through Time, I wanted to show like I wanted to juxtapose basically what life as a teenager was like when I was in high school versus what it's like now. So I created two protagonists, and one girl is from 2001 and one girl's from 2022, and they actually connect online and become friends.
Yeah.
And so it really touches on tech use, especially the reliance on social media, how that affects body image, how that affects self esteem, that like never ever being able to disconnect when
Yeah.
you're having a difficult day, the sharing of intimate photos, and then all of the mental health repercussions and depression and ideas of suicide and things like that that can come along. So
Mhm.
it was very real obviously not the time travel kind of bit, but in that I have witnessed so many of these scenarios as a teacher across my career. So I think that's why it came to me. And I
Yeah.
had such an urgency to write it because I was feeling so helpless in my ability to communicate some of these things that I've witnessed in my 18-year career.
Yeah.
So Chasing Through Time was my outlet for that.
Yeah. Oh, that's so great.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I feel like I started teaching I feel really old now, 1995.
Mm-hmm.
And I taught for 28 years. And
Oh,
there was
kudos to
so,
you.
oh my
Wow.
goodness.
Well done.
I left
I don't,
early though. I left 5 years
yeah,
early, so I didn't even quite make it to the official retirement date. But there's been such a huge transition in the use of technology in both like amazing ways for students. Like
100%.
it's just opened up all kinds of career options and just it's just amazing in so many ways. And then there's that mental health piece. And like what kind of transition have you seen with your students? Are like, I mean, I think we're all seeing it, but there's to me, it seems like a really difficult time for kids because like I like what you said there about they never turn off. Like it's
Yeah.
always they're always on. And how can like we just I don't know how you handle that. And I think adults are, I mean, we're not much better.
No, 100%. And I think that's important to recognize too. If we as adults struggle,
Yeah,
how can we expect our kids to navigate it with grace or
100%.
without help
Yeah,
navigating it? So I think there's so many things. I know when I started 18 years ago, there wasn't like nobody had a cell phone.
yeah.
That was not a thing. We used to have to walk to the computer lab if we
Right?
wanted to use any
Yes.
technology. Um, and so it just wasn't a thing. And I felt like kids were so much more engaged. Yes, there was still bullying. Yes, there was still anxiety. Yes, there was still depression, but the amount of it
Hmm.
was very different. Whereas it was the minority, I feel like there's been some years where I've had an overwhelming majority of kids who are struggling with these
Yeah,
issues.
for
And
sure.
I think it's because, there are like in the book showcases those like those themes that everybody across time
Yes.
struggles with. Like
Yes.
your teenage girls are going to have their body issues, trying to figure out like how they feel about themselves and their appearance,
Yeah.
comparing themselves to other people.
Mhm.
The mean girls. Like these are really timeless themes that everybody regardless of their generation can relate to, but with access to social media and that inability to disconnect, all of those issues are amplified
Mm.
to a very alarming degree.
Yeah.
So that's what's led in part, not fully, to all of the influx of these mental health issues for
Yeah,
sure.
100%.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I remember there was a time when, you might have like in grade 9, especially, I would have a handful of students who had cell phones. And it wasn't a
Mm-hmm.
big deal for them to just put them away because no one else was using them. And then
Totally.
within like 2 or 3 years, every grade 9 kid had a cell phone. And then it
Mm-hmm.
became like this, like, okay, rules around cell phones and just, I used to have a cell phone spot to put your phone up
Oh yeah.
away from you, but that's not even that successful. And tons of kids had like the phone that they used to hand in when they had to, and the phone that they actually used. Like,
Yeah,
they're
they're
so
smart.
savvy.
They're so
Yeah,
smart.
really
Mm-hmm.
clever. So, I feel like that you couldn't get away from it. And then there was a lot of teachers trying to use it as like an educational
Mm-hmm.
tool, which is great, but the instinct always is to well, I'll just check my message for a second and I'm
For
just
sure.
that and whatever, Snapchat
Mm-hmm.
or whatever it is. Like it's really
Yeah.
almost impossible. And from a
Mm-hmm.
teacher point of view, it can be very, very frustrating. But then when you put yourself in the shoes of the kids, like how do you get away from that? Like I just don't even
Yeah.
know. So I love that
Well,
you
and they don't know how, and
yeah.
that's why I just felt like I wanted to write a book that could be read by multiple audiences. So
Yeah.
both of my books are labeled YA, but they are very easily related to
Yeah.
multiple ages, and I've actually had many adults connect with them more. And
Yeah.
I think it's a great tool to have to start those conversations, or to even just wait a second, what is going on behind those screens? They're not going anywhere.
Yeah.
That's definitely not my intention to like get rid of them, or we need to
No,
eradicate them, because that's just not reality. But
that's it.
like these kids are struggling. Not all of them, but a lot of them are struggling.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's true. And I think adults are too. And just the
Yeah.
idea that even a kid who appears not to be struggling, we don't always know what's happening
Yes.
behind the scenes with how they're feeling about things or what they're seeing online and how they're influenced or how they feel, like you said, how they feel about themselves after seeing all these
Hmm.
images. It's so complex. Like, and
Yes.
I always want education to be a leader in these issues. But the truth is, I think education is often lagging behind where society has already moved and we're like trying to
Hmm.
catch up. So, like,
Yeah.
people are dealing with those issues and we're like, oh, maybe we should have a policy around that. And let's talk
Yes.
about it for a year.
Maybe. Yeah. And then we'll see. Yeah.
Yeah. And we'll just not think about that for a while and hope it goes away. Like I feel like
Hmm.
the issue of AI even right now is
Oh,
I don't know, like the schools don't even seem to have policies around that. Like because they
there's
don't need
none. We have
to.
none.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no. And so there's kind of like a wait and see mentality. But what I'd really love to see is not educators per se, like I feel like it has to come from above, but like some pro action around these issues with kids in mind and mental health in mind. But I
Hmm.
don't know. Education it's like any big organization. It's like slow to change,
Yes,
slow to change.
absolutely. Hmm.
But individual teachers, I think, have that power to be able to recognize the issues in their classroom and individual students and make a big difference that way. It's just,
Yeah, you try at least,
yeah,
you try.
100%. But I love that you're dealing with these tough topics because it's so important for students to see themselves represented and for parents and other people to read about youth and to feel like they're connected to what's going on. And even the idea that there's some time travel there and
Yeah.
different generations who are struggling and
Yeah,
I
so
suppose help each other
they do help
without
each
giving
other. They
away anything.
become, yeah, but they become good friends. Yeah,
Yeah.
so you should see like also the positive side of technology as well because they actually connect through MSN Messenger,
Yeah.
which was like the chatting, one of the first like chatting over the computer things that I was able to do.
Yes, right.
So they do make this connection and form that friendship and help each other out. But yeah, multiple generations can see themselves in that book,
Yeah,
which is nice. The
100%.
parents feel like, oh, okay, I remember wearing that or
Yes,
having my hair like that.
so good. I love that.
Mhm.
And then your second novel, At Least I'm Trying. Can you tell us
Yes.
a little bit about that one?
Yeah, so I really didn't hold back on this one. I just wanted to show like the extreme potential implication of Snapchat in particular. And
Mhm.
I was inspired. I heard a group of girls talking about Snap Maps, which, if you're not familiar, it's a feature of Snapchat that is automatically set up. So you have to actually go in and turn it off.
Okay.
That gives your live location to all of your followers at all times.
Oh, okay.
Mhm. So they talk about how they keep tabs on each other. And I got really curious about, um, do you have followers that you don't know? Yep. So these people could see where you are right now. Yep. They could know where you live. Yep. So I started to do a little digging about predators and predatory behavior and how apps like Snapchat are used as a tool now for people to connect with youth. And you had said earlier, like you never quite know what's going on behind someone and like their exterior. So my main character, Reese, is the picture of perfection from like a good middle class home. She's a star student, star athlete, scholarships, and valedictorian in the running, all of the things. But she starts to experience some failures. So she fails on the court, fails in some of her relationships, sees some failure in school, which she's not accustomed to dealing with. And after all of this, she just kind of crumbles under the pressure and makes some new connections and meets a man from Snapchat. And things take a very difficult turn for Reese after that. And she has to experience some difficult things.
That is s- all too familiar, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
scarily. I did
Yes.
not know about that map feature. And that
Yes.
as a mom makes me like it horrifies me
Mm-hmm.
that,
And they was very normalized based on
yeah,
my conversations. Like, oh, whatever.
yeah,
Like
no,
no thought at all to the repercussions of
yeah,
that.
right.
And so
And
my
I bet,
research, Sorry. Yeah, my
Yeah, I was gonna
research
say.
took me down a dark, dark wormhole.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And I was going to say that I think a lot of parents, because they're not on Snapchat,
Hmm.
I mean, they don't probably know all the features or what is happening there. Like I think more of the parents might be on, I don't know, Facebook or Instagram or, whatever,
Yeah.
maybe on TikTok just scrolling. But
Hmm.
Snapchat doesn't seem to be like a
Yeah, an adult,
parent kind of
medium.
so like I just don't think they would even know about that feature and
Yeah.
how somebody could be tracking their child from
Hmm.
school to home to wherever, how
Yeah.
scary is that? And again, timely, right? Because the fact that you wrote that and put that out, and that is something that's happening in real time in your classroom and
Yeah.
elsewhere.
Well, thankfully, what happens, Therese, is not a personal experience as a teacher.
Yeah,
Thank goodness.
yeah, yeah,
But I really just, I don't want to bury heads in the sand. And yeah, it's heavy stuff. It is. Both of my books are not cheerful,
yeah,
but they are so real. And I've
yeah,
had so many people reach out and say, this is so, so real. Like it was, someone actually said it was difficult for her to read. She loved it, but like she had to pause
yeah, yeah,
because it hit very close to home for that person. And that is my goal. I really want to have people see and just become aware of some of these potential implications of social media and technology, so we don't bury our heads in the sand, and maybe we can have conversations that prevent this from ever happening to the people we care about.
exactly. Yeah.
Hmm.
So good. So I just want to rewind a little bit because I was so curious about the first story downloading. Did the second story download for you too, or did it come more slowly? How did that happen? Did you decide to write a second book or?
Yeah, I started writing it right away.
Hey.
So I had an idea, but it wasn't the same as with Chasing Through Time. I had, like, I knew
Yeah.
the goal, but I didn't know how I was going to get there.
Right.
So it definitely was a slower process. Like I had no idea how it was going to end until it ended,
Yeah.
which was kind of a cool
Fascinating.
experience.
Yeah.
I actually found that that's like my favorite part of writing is, sure, I have like a vague idea, but sometimes when I sit down and if everything's just, working that day, I love when something happens and I'm like, I did not know that was going to happen.
Amazing. Yes.
It's like magical.
It really is. Like, where did that idea
Yes.
come from?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then sometimes I'll reread. I'm like, I don't even remember writing this.
Yeah.
Like, when did that
Crazy.
happen?
I know sometimes I wonder if like are we actually writing this out of our brain or are we just a conduit for ideas to come through
Yeah.
us? Because like where does it come from? Like why
Hmm.
why? Like I don't even understand it sometimes.
I
So
don't either, but so fun.
you sound like you're more of a pantser, but you have an
I
outline.
am.
You kind of know where the
Hmm.
story is, what's happening, your characters, and then you start writing and then you just let it happen. See where it
I do.
goes,
Yeah.
follow the lead of the characters and
Yeah. I have like a couple of key events, but like how I get myself there
yeah,
just
keep it open.
happens. Yeah. Which, yeah, I really enjoy that part of
Yeah,
waiting.
so fun. So,
Hmm.
what are you working on now? Do you have another project on the go or are you taking a little
Yeah.
break?
No, I can't stop.
Ah,
So I
you're hooked.
actually, I am hooked. I did write an adult contemporary draft, but I put that to the side. But same kind of idea. It will come out eventually. I'm just not ready yet.
Yeah,
But that tech, but now from like the adult perspective and like, because it isn't just a kid thing.
yeah,
So like
totally.
tech and how it can affect a marriage.
Yes.
And then from the mom's viewpoint, which was kind of interesting. But yeah, that's kind of put to the side because YA, I just find I'm very, very drawn and passionate to that genre. So I have a whole new idea. I'm like 35,000 words in and just seeing where it goes.
That's so awesome. So
Hmm.
now that I want to say your kids because I always call them my kids. Your
Yes,
students,
yes.
your kids.
Hmm.
Now they know you're a writer,
Yeah.
and every new group of grade nines will come in. They probably know you're a writer. They've heard all the as
Yeah.
as the rumors around this school spread quickly. So do you talk to them about your writing? Are they interested in that? Do they read your books, or is it something that they kind of separate themselves from?
It depends. I have both. I have a group of like girls who are the best fans ever. Like I had a book event on Friday night and I had so many past students and like my present students show up, and a lot, reading is not everybody's favorite activity.
That's
It's a little bit of pulling teeth for some of them, but they're super supportive. But then I have girls who are like voraciously reading my stuff, and they read it during silent reading, which is so
yes,
weird. I'm like,
I know. Yeah,
what,
so good.
what part are they at? What's going on? And then I have some swear words too. So I'm like, oh, God,
Yeah.
they're going to know.
Yeah, I love that. That's
But
so
they're
fun.
so great. I
I mean,
have
it's
some
such an
very good support.
inspirational thing for students to see you doing that work and putting work out and writing. And, there's always a group of young people. Like you said, they're not all readers, and obviously they're not all writers, but there's always a handful
Yeah.
who that's a dream. Maybe they haven't said it
Mm-hmm.
out loud, or they're secretly writing, maybe like we
Yes.
were when we were kids.
Yes.
And to
Mm-hmm.
see somebody in their circle that is doing
Mm-hmm.
that work and like it's so inspirational for them. I think that's amazing what you're doing.
Yeah, thank you. I hope, some of them see that and do take it, because I have some amazing creative writers
Yeah,
every year. They just blow me away.
I
So
know. Like it's just so crazy how talented they can be at such a young age.
100%. Yeah.
And so it also reminds me, like, where does this come from? Like we can, as English teachers, can, you know, teach skills, and we can, introduce them to different stories and techniques and different things. But there's some things innate in a storyteller that you kind of
100%.
need to want to do it. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. And I hope I can inspire some of them to start sooner, because I look back, I'm like, why didn't I start this sooner?
Yeah.
Like it
Yeah.
just brings me so much joy that, yeah, I wish I had just started much earlier than I did.
I know. I feel exactly the same way.
Hmm.
And I too like studied I studied English and taught English at high school and all the things. Um and I think I'm like you. I was writing stories in my head all those years. And
Hmm.
but there has to be that moment where you're like, "Oh no, now I'm going to do this."
Yes.
And so you encouraging younger folks to do it now, it's so important, I think, because there is a
Hmm.
possibility. It may not be their career, but it might be something
No.
they do in addition to other things that they
Yeah.
pursue, right? That it becomes
To
something.
fill their cup, their creative cup, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
100%. Yeah,
Hmm.
sure.
I think maybe you could feel the same as being an introvert, is like getting out of your own way too. Like that. I think in just my head, I'm like, I could never be a writer.
Right.
That
Yeah.
was just like a thought I always carried with me,
Yeah.
like not a real writer.
Right. Yes.
And I'm like,
That is a really common statement. And I
mhm,
feel like I don't know where we learned that. Like I think we learned from a pretty young age, just from a societal point of view, not to blame any particular person, but that
mhm,
idea that like, oh, the arts are lovely, but it's a hobby.
yeah,
Writing is a
not a real
hobby. A
job.
real job. You need to have security and a pension, da da da. Like go to
Yes.
university. Like there's kind of this unwritten rule of how life should be. But the truth is, when you look at everyone's careers and what they do for a living, it's like so vastly like there are so many careers out there I had never even imagined would even exist when I was going to school.
Yes.
Like the possibilities are endless. And anyone wanting to create a career out of the arts, it's possible. It's work, but so is everything
Yes.
else.
It is a lot of work.
Of course. Yeah, but
Hmm.
you can learn it, and you can if you're passionate, you can really dig in and do well. But yeah, it's I think I received those messages too. Not that I couldn't do it, but that it wasn't a viable option for
Yes.
being an adult.
Yes. And the imposter syndrome. I don't think I even really understood what imposter syndrome was until I wrote a book.
Yeah, for
And it's
sure.
like, no, what am I
Yeah.
doing?
Right. And I think I remember when I first started writing my book, the first book, and having been an English teacher for a long time and having written like a master's thesis and all kinds of things. So, I knew I could write, but
Yeah,
when it came to writing a novel, or well, in this case, it was creative nonfiction, actually, the first one. But I realized, oh, I can talk about what somebody else has written, and I can talk about what's working and isn't working. I can talk
totally.
about all the
Yeah.
things, but then like, how do you do it?
Yeah. Yeah, I can
Eye-opening.
analyze all the texts.
Yes. Yes. And then
Hmm.
you're like, oh my gosh. And so that's a whole learning curve. So
Yes.
I'm just going to flip back to that earlier question too. Like, when you started writing and you said it took around 6 months to write that first line, like, did you consult books? Did you take a class? Like, what was that? Did
Oh,
you just go like, I'm writing and sit down and get her
yeah.
done?
I just wrote, I didn't consult any books, but I'm like a voracious YA reader
Yes.
as a junior high
Yeah.
teacher. Like I'm constantly immersing myself in YA fiction. So I kind of
You
knew,
knew the
like I,
structure, you
yeah,
knew like
I'm
what the
the
points were.
themes, all of that stuff.
Amazing.
And I think, well, anybody who's a reader, it
Yes.
just helps your writing
100%.
exponentially.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah, I don't really get it. Very occasionally I meet writers who are like, yeah, I don't read too much. I'm like, what do you mean?
How?
How is that possible? Like, I
Yeah,
just
books are the best.
books are the best. What are you talking
Mhm.
about? I just can't understand it. It just doesn't compute for me. But I think
Yes.
like reading in the genre that you're writing is so
Mhm.
important because you kind of absorb it, right? Like
Yeah.
the structure and the themes and the character and so that's phenomenal. I just think you did an amazing job there.
Thank you.
That is, it's been so fun to chat with you about your
Yeah, you
books.
too.
And it's exciting that you're going to have, so you have a new idea, you're drafting. Do you have a
Yeah.
time frame for that?
I would like to have it out sometime next year, but
Yeah.
I know editing always takes a while. Maybe end of next year, maybe this time next year. I
Yeah,
would like to have
100%.
something out there. Yeah.
Yeah,
Feel
for
like that's
sure.
viable.
That's
If my
that's
children
amazing.
will let me do that.
That's a
Yeah.
nice time frame. I do want to ask you one more thing because before I let you go, because I'm always curious about this as an author and speaking to different people, just around the promo and marketing piece. Like, how's that been? Because that's a whole other world.
Yeah. Well, the fact that I'm promoting my book on social media, my book's about the
Yes.
detrimental side of social media on social media is super ironic,
Amazing.
but I've had to really embrace that. So, the elder millennial I am, I cannot get on the TikTok train, but I have managed Instagram okay.
Okay. Nice.
So I'm figuring some things out. It's been painful, and sometimes I quit for like 2 weeks because I'm like,
Take
it's
a
a
break.
full-time job if
Yes.
you really sit down. And I refuse to stare at my phone all day. Like
Yeah.
I can't
Yeah.
do it.
You can't do it. And plus you
No.
have your students and you have all these fun things
Yes.
happening. Like, yeah, it's such a tough thing. But so on that note, where can people find you on social media?
Yes. So Instagram would be my main location. I do have a Facebook page as well. So both are under at Tara Hodgson author. So I basically update everything there, but then I have a website as well, which is just www.tarahodgson.ca.
Amazing. And they can find your books there and support
Yep.
you and follow your journey. And we'll be waiting for the next one to come out.
Yes.
And it's such a pleasure to chat with you. And
You
I love
too.
connecting with other teachers because like it just feels
Yes.
like, oh, you could have been down the hall and from my classroom.
Yeah. And I'm just so envious that you're done your journey. You
I'm
did it.
telling that part of my
28
journey.
years. That's amazing.
Yeah, it's been lovely. But also I feel like a teacher is always a teacher at heart. Like it's just part of our
Yes.
DNA somehow.
Hmm.
It's just now I'm teaching in a different way, which is fun as
Yes.
well. So you will get there. It comes faster than you think.
Yeah, I
It
know.
really
It
does.
is moving very quickly.
Yeah, for sure. So enjoy the journey and enjoy your writing. And I hope that we can chat again at some point, especially when your next book comes out. We'd love that.
Awesome. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you. So great. Thanks, Tara.
Take care. Bye.
Bye. I believe writers need sisu, strength, courage, and determination to get their projects done, and I can help you access your sisu. Are you working on a novel or memoir? You don't have to do it alone. Join us in the Women Writing Circle. We meet bi-weekly for 90 minutes to get pages done. Or consider applying for an upcoming group book coaching program to develop the foundational elements of your story in a supportive community. These 8-week-long programs include weekly coaching calls, goal setting, craft discussion, and personalized feedback on writing tasks. If you'd prefer to work one-on-one, contact me about one of my coaching packages at lisakovalabookcoach.com. Thanks for taking time out of your schedule to have a coffee break with us at Women Writing. Don't forget to subscribe to Women Writing on Substack. If you like this episode, share it with someone who needs a writing break and a little inspiration. Happy writing! Thank you to Michael Jensen for his original music and editing, and to Mia Jensen for the logo design.